Hello friends and welcome back. This is Deepa from DeeZinesByD and today I have the third part of the Spellbinders release to share with you this month. I've already shared with you the Celebrate You collection and the Spring into Stitching collection, and this one is called the Happy Dance collection. And the reason why it's called Happy Dance is those little legs underneath the dress dance around. And there's also a male version of the set whereby we have nice pants, like a dress pant and shirt that kind of dances around as well. So these are ideal dyes that could be used for, say, Mother's Day or Father's Day or even feminine and masculine birthdays. So I actually have this growing card to share with you today. I also created this card here, which is more of a crafty card. So they're not only meant to be used for birthdays and, say, feminine and masculine, say Mother's Day and Father's Day cards, but they can be used for other things as well. They have nice crafty sentiments on them that you could also use, and there's also like a coffee type sentiment. So they have a large degree of versatility to them. Now, this set here is the Let's Dance set. So this is the one I was telling you that is more appropriate for maybe masculine or Father's Day cards. You can see the little legs, they kind of dance around. That's what the little hole is at the top there. I'll show you how to put all that together. There's also a beer mug, which is also perfect for masculine birthdays or Father's Day. And the feminine version of the set, we have the dress and the legs there, and then also like a crafty glue bottle and a mug, a coffee cup there that you could use. Then there's also this Glimmer Sentiment set, which works perfectly with both of these die sets. It coordinates with both of them along with the other products within the collection. Now, I'm just showing you that this is the color scheme that I'm using. I basically check online for a color scheme I like, and then I take my inks, these are Alta New inks, and I create the colors on white cardstock that I want to use. Now, once I had that done, I went ahead and grabbed my Spellbinders Be Bold Alpha and Numeric set. I used it to cut out all of the letters that I wanted in some white cardstock and some Sizzix Gold mirror cardstock. And then I went ahead and attached the white to the gold in an offset manner to create a little bit of a gold shadow though, which really helps the letters kind of stand out on your card or your background. Now, once I had them all done, which it did take a bit of time, I'm not going to lie, but because I'm making a particular card with a specific sentiment that I'd like, this is what I had to do. You could always try using some stamping, some stamps to stamp out your sentiments. That might be a little faster. And then I went ahead and I cut out all of these little pieces. So I'm showing you that I took some of it from the Spellbinders 2022 Large Die of the Month. You see I got the long vine from there, which is actually just a plant base, but I'm going to use it as a vine. You've got all of these cute little leaves that I cut out in different colors, the dark, the light green, and also from some gold cardstock. And then I got the majority of the little pieces from the Spellbinders January 2022 Glimmer Kit of the month, which is Love Enclosed. So this is actually like a Valentine's card, but I like to look through my stash and kind of find the sets that have the pieces of foliage and floral bits that I kind of want to use for my card. So that's how I usually pick and choose which sets I want to use. So I've attached that dress to the gold piece as well to create that same little gold border because I felt like it just helps it kind of stand up off the card, and it also coordinates the actual die cut pieces with the sentiment now. Now this is how you attach the little feet. There's one plate in the set that you use to cut out all of these little bits. And then all you have to do is kind of attach the larger shoe piece to the back of the foot and then the smaller piece to the front to create like a little slipper or a little flat ballet shoe. And this is really cool because I mean, I've used just plain cardstock here, but you can use pattern paper, you can use some specialty cardstock for this, and just make those shoes really shine. If you wanted, you could maybe even add a little stick at the back to create a bit of a stiletto or a heel if you wanted to, if you were so inclined. So I'm also adding that little gold border behind the shoe like I did with the dress, and it will just basically match everything together. And actually, I figured once I added this little gold bit, it kind of did make the shoes look like a high heel. So the feminine version of the set, which is I think the I Dance set, it has these little flowers that come with it, and they're 3-layer flowers. So all I did was I took the colors that I had and I just cut out the 3 layers. The bottom and the top layer were the same color and the middle layer is different. And all the colors coordinate and they go with the color scheme. Then I kind of just pulled up the edges to create more of a 3D flower. And then all I had to do was attach these little centers, which I cut out of mirror cardstock again. You could cut it out of anything, and that little die that cuts that center out comes with the set. Now, to do the actual card base, I cut an A2 size top folding panel along with another A2 size panel with just a little lip at the top. So I basically have 3 A2 sized panels. Now I'm going to attach that top lip at the top of the card. But before I do that, I'm going to do some scoring, and I'm going to score 2 3/4 inches from the edge. It can be from any edge. This is going to be the middle of your card. Then that piece with the lip, I'm going to do the same thing and score it at 2 3/4 from the edge. Now all I need to do is fold up that first edge, and then same again with this. So I'm going to kind of line it up to make sure I'm folding it properly. Right, so now that lip is going to come in, and now I'm going to fold it all the way up. So this is how the card's going to be. So you see all the folds, and I'm just going to strengthen those with my bone folder. Now before I put it together, I'm going to take this Spellbinders folder of the month. I think this was the last folder for February. And I'm basically just put the card in exactly like how it would fold, one half of it, and it basically embossed the whole thing. So you don't have to worry about layers. You will get a bit of a line, but don't worry about that. You won't see it in the end. And then I went ahead and did it with the piece that's going to be attached. Now you can see I've already attached the strip of double-sided adhesive, and it actually pretty much lined up. I didn't even do it on purpose. I just tried to put it in the same spot in the embossing folder that I did the first piece. Now I can kind of line it up with the other piece and just fold over that lip to attach it. And I'm attaching it in the same way that I showed you originally. So this is creating a bit of an accordion on the top. So this card's going to fold out like this, and then again. So you basically have 4 panels at the top that fold out with an A2 size piece at the bottom. So now I'm going to go ahead and put together this card. So I'm adding those little dancing feet. And to do it, all I have to do is add a little foam square or something with dimension in the center of that circle, making sure that it's not really sticking down that piece so that it's allowed to move back and forth. So you can see I'm kind of pushing it down. I tend to put 2 of those foam squares there to create more space for the legs to move. You could just put 1 if you wanted, if you feel like it's going to move enough for you. And now I've kind of taped down the folds at the top, that accordion fold, and I'm going to take my flowers and arrange them along with the sentiment, because I want to make sure everything's going to fit on that top half of that flap, right? And when I do glue those flowers down, I'm going to make sure that I attach them just to the top flap. I don't want to attach it to the top and the bottom piece where the dress and the legs are, because then the card won't open up. So you can see I'm putting it right there on the edge where the fold is. That way I can open the card up, and the flowers will move upwards with the top half of the card. So I'll just do that again with the other 2 flowers. And you can see that it all fits pretty well. So the reason why I did the flowers and the letters together, and I kind of left the letters there, is because I just wanted to make sure my sentiment's going to fit. Because I'm using the sentiment from just a letter set, I didn't know that the 2 rows of sentiment would actually fit, and they do perfectly, so that works well for me. Now, here's another more tedious step. I'm actually adding foam strips to the back of these letters, and then I'm going to attach each letter one by one. Now, because I'm using this technique, I'm not going to make sure that my sentiment is completely straight. I'm going to make it a little more whimsical and just kind of have the letters a little bit crooked here and there so that it, it's not something I'm going to waste too much time making sure that all of my letters line up. I mean, you could use a ruler and line everything up, but I just wanted to, it takes enough to make this card, so I didn't want to have to focus too much on lining that up. Now to do this, I'm using small strips of foam tape, and I actually created these foam strips myself using some craft foam and some double-sided adhesive that I put on either side of the craft foam, and then I used my sharp guillotine cutter to cut the little strips, which makes this much easier to do because most strips don't really come in the size to fit on the back of these letters, so you can cut the strips as small as you want in order to fit your purposes. So now I'm finally creating the vine or the big stem for this flower, and I'm taking all of these little vine or like the bottom plant piece from the the card kit, sorry, from the die of the month, and I'm attaching them basically so that it goes upwards towards the flower. And every time I do this, you can see I'm folding the card and I'm just making sure that the pieces that I'm gluing on stick down nicely and that on the fold, there's not any pieces that are going to come up. Doing this basically seasons your card or kind of prepares your card so that when your viewer or your recipient gets it, there's not going to be any issues when they open it up. So I've basically laid out the I guess the blueprint for the vine. I know exactly where it's going. So now I can put down my sentiment, the rest of my sentiment. So I've got my love for you at the top. And then on one of the panels, which originally would be covered, has grows. And then the final panel at the bottom, this part again gets covered up, has the final portion and grows. So the basis of this card is that this flower with this dancy feet dress lady is basically holding the flowers, and the card grows as your love grows and the flower grows as your love grows. So this is a perfect Mother's Day card, I would say. So you can see here the legs still dance around. It's still interactive. And now all I really have to do is jazz up this vine and add more pieces, some more foliage and some more flowers to just kind of make the rest of the card come together. So all I'm doing is I'm taking all of the extra little pieces that I cut out and I'm bulking up that vine. I'm making that flower and that vine more full. I'm adding more of the foliage, and then those little flowers I'm using just to add a bit of color amongst all of that green and gold. Now I'm going to embellish this in different ways. First, I'm using the Spellbinders Gold Mix Jewels. I use this set sparingly because I don't have a lot of them. And the gold mix has like a solid gold, like a mirror type gold, and then it also has like a crystal gold. So I'm using the crystal gold for the center of the flowers just because it has like a bit of a, it's not really a yellow gold, it's more like a champagne-y gold. So it goes perfectly with the background of the card. And then for the actual background, I'm going to be using some AB crystal nail gems because they'll stand out a bit more. And then for the little centers of those tiny little flowers, I'm using some other nail art gems that are also a champagne color. As I said, I use the Spellbinders gems a bit more sparingly. These nail art gems come in such copious amounts that I kind of use them when I'm using a lot of bling on my cards. And so now I've added all of that bling to the flowers. I'll add a bit to the background, and you can see here's my final card. So my love for you grows and grows, and you can see that card just looks beautiful at the end. And I think that it's just very intuitive. It's very nice. I love the way the card turned out. This is actually inspired by a card that I made for my mom when I was younger. And I just thought that the set worked perfectly with it. So I thought that I'd go ahead and share this card with you today. And I hope that you've all been inspired. Now, if you do get a chance, please check out my blog. All of the products that I've used are linked there. I'm sure you know where to find the Spellbinder site and get a hold of these products. And I would appreciate it if you were inspired by me, that you would please click on the links that I have, because they are affiliate links and I do get a bit of a commission at no extra cost to you if you do buy through those links. It's just something that helps me keep my blog running and the links coming so that I can continue to provide you with more and more inspiration. And I would really appreciate it if you could support me. Any and all support is really helpful, and I thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys again next time. Bye.